The term infinite means limitless or endless space, extent, or size, something impossible to measure or calculate. GameMasters here, and today we are taking a first look at the quests from the Infinite Staircase. And while we'll take a look at the quest, at least kind of an overview of them, we're also going to take a look at what we can expect from this book. But two, how we might be able to use the concepts in this book beyond the anthology of the 6 adventures that it includes. First, I got to read the disclaimer. You guys know that I absolutely love the disclaimers. They're sometimes clever, sometimes not. But this one reads, Disclaimer. Wizards of the Coast is not responsible for dubious interpretations of poorly worded wishes granted by noble genies or other almighty entities. Please send all complaints regarding ill-interpreted wishes to your dungeon master in the form of a strongly and carefully worded letter. Quests from the Infinite Staircase is broken down into 7 chapters, with chapters 2 through 7 covering classic D&D adventures. There are 2 appendix entries. One covers the new magic items and technology included, and yeah, grenades and anti-gravity belts are included. And the other appendix is the stat block index for the monsters found within, which I rather like, as should you want to include them in your homebrew world, this makes it super easy to flip to the corresponding page and find. The first section details how to use this book. It's more or less a brief rundown on each adventure and what you can expect. You can run the adventures in a linear sense from the Lost City from Chapter 1 to When a Star Falls in Chapter 2, all the way to Expedition to Barrier Peaks in the final chapter. Doing this should take your character from level 1 up to about level 11 or so. Of course, if you as the DM want to use any of these adventures, you can easily just kind of pluck it out and throw it into your homebrew world without playing the one before it or after it. Chapter 1 covers the Infinite Staircase itself and explains exactly what and how it functions, as well as several of its features. For example, it explains that night and day do not exist here, that the staircase is in a perpetual state of twilight. No vampires, though. Stairs twist and stretch to infinity, but there are areas where actually there might be vampires, but they don't sparkle. Anyway, the stairs are going to bend at odd angles like in an Escher lithograph. Landings flatten out and branch off to more stairs and lead to various doors, with each door leading to a different place in the multiverse. Each door will be seen as a depiction of sorts to its corresponding world. For example, a door leading to the Shadowfell may appear as jet black set into a Gothic archway with gargoyles perched upon it, or a door leading to the Underdark may be covered in fungus. Doors will vary in distance in relation to each other. One may just be a few feet away, while others might be even miles apart. The stairs and doors within the staircase are immune to all damage. Spells like Pass Wall, they're not going to work. And the temperature in the Infinite area remains constant, very similar to a cool autumn evening. Of course, one of the bigger questions is, exactly how does one enter the Infinite Staircase? With as many doors that exist in this Infinite Staircase, an infinite amount, there are equally just as many ways to enter it. However, we're provided with a table of 10 possible entrances, and some may be found in the folds of a long-forgotten stage. Another may be the door to a giant's outhouse. Another could be found within the hollow of a tree in an enchanted forest, while another might be in the back of a grandfather clock. There's also a D100 table broken down into 29 different possibilities of various doors that can be found within the staircase. Now, these don't tie in specifically to the adventure in here, but are rather included should you want to use them in your existing world or tie them to an older book. Occasionally, a monster or creature will happen across one of these doors or portals to the Infinite Staircase, and they also have listed some random encounters that might take place as you climb the stairs. For example, you might encounter a lost unit of Modrons marching the stairs and cataloging every door that they run across. Of course, overseeing everything within the Infinite Staircase is the noble genie Nafas. Nafas is a noble genie, life breathed into existence by the winds of the cosmic multiverse itself. He did not create the infinite staircase, nor does he rule over it. He is merely its caretaker. He is unable to leave the staircase, and attempts to magically or otherwise get him to teleport or forcibly remove him from the staircase all ultimately fail. He welcomes travelers and tells them tales of high adventure from others who have passed through this infinite number of doors that led to and from the staircase. Being a noble genie, he has the power to reshape reality. A single word from him can transform one from rags to riches, return the dead to life. In other words, he can grant wishes. He won't grant a wish just on a whim, though. It must be truly deserving, and unlike some sinister dungeon masters, he doesn't twist the words of the wish or interpret it with malice. But there is a twist of sorts. Because he is unable to leave the infinite staircase, he cannot manifest a wish outside of the staircase. What he does instead is make an adventurer within the living embodiment of that wish. For example, should a peasant wish to banish a demon that has been plaguing their farm, Nafas will provide to the adventuring party the means with which to dispatch that demon and send them to do exactly that. And I'm going to touch upon this again in a moment. I want to expand upon it, but first I want to talk a little bit about the Censer of Dreams. The Censer of Dreams is the lair of Nafas, his home. It's a nexus of sorts that is at the very heart of the staircase. It is here that he will entertain guests of all types, from humanoids to demons. Yeah, he'll accept even evildoers into his lair, as Nafas feels that everyone has a story to tell. However, should someone offend him, he's going to be pretty quick to oust them. The rest of the chapters are converted old-school D&D adventures, and we did a video covering those, which you can watch next if you'd like. Appendix A covers 7 new magic items, slash kind of technology, and I'm going to cover those in a separate video, but you can find an anti-gravity belt, concussion grenades, sleep grenades, needler pistol, which is really cool as it can shoot needle-like darts that can cause up to 8d4 piercing damage. There is a paralysis pistol, power armor, and a robot controller that you can find as well. Again, we're going to go over those in their own video. Appendix B covers 32 monsters, and again, remember that the adventures in this book cover old school modules, so the monsters here are for the most part also old school, like the Froghemoth, the Peck, which we've also covered in a previous video, but too, we have stat block for Nafas himself, and I'll do a video covering just him very soon. A bit ago, I mentioned that I would swing back around to Nafas not being able to leave the infinite staircase, and that he uses adventurers as a means to fulfill wishes. He makes the adventurers the living embodiment of a wish. And I rather like that idea, but I also feel that Wizards missed one hell of an opportunity to tie things together. I'll explain. We are currently on the heels of Vecna, Eve of Ruin. In that adventure, 2 powerful mages and a vampire moonlighting as one cast a wish spell to stop Vecna from unmaking the multiverse. That wish spell ends up summoning the party, but it never explains why. I made a fix for that adventure, and in that fix, I tether in the noble genie Nafas, that he heard Tasha and Illustrial make the wish, and Nafas bestows upon your adventurers the ability to stop Vecna, then sends them to Sigil, whereupon their multiverse adventure begins. I maintain that this was a major missed opportunity for Wizards of the Coast to tie these 2 books together, but what can I say? It wouldn't be the first time that they failed to tie elements together, because you may also recall that Vecna was heavily tied with obelisks that popped up in different 5th edition books. Yet in Eve of Ruin, we never got that connection either. Someone needs to sit their marketing team down and have a chat. Well, okay, someone needs to sit WotC down and have a chat. But I digress. In the coming days, I'm going to be deep diving into the adventures themselves, and I'll say this. The artwork within is, for the most part, really good, but I do want to explore the adventures and see what all changes were made from the originals. It will take me a few days to compare, but once I've done that, I'll turn out some more videos covering them, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. Overall, I like the concept behind this book. A nexus that connects doorways to the multiverse where players can have their pick of virtually any setting or adventure out there. That's cool. Some may argue that Sigil already provided that, and to an extent, yeah, that's kind of true. Others could also say that the Radiant Citadel could also do that, and yes, that's true too. What this all boils down to is flavor. Rice is rice. Just as a nexus is a nexus, but it's how you season that rice is what makes it taste different. Some groups will prefer to traverse the multiverse via a ship from the Radiant Citadel. Others will prefer the grit and grime of Sigil, where others will get more enjoyment from the ethereal setting of Quests from the Infinite Staircase. I want to thank everyone for watching today. My name is Brian, and I've been playing and running role-playing games since the 1980s. I also want to thank my channel supporters, as their contributions to the channel made it so that I didn't need to take on a sponsored ad for today's video. And come on, we skip all those anyway, don't we? We've got a fun Patreon going on, and that Vecna fix that I mentioned a moment ago, contributing Patreons get access to that. We also have a rockin' and rollin' Discord where we get up to all kinds of fun chats and debates, and a lot of what we talk about in there ends up in some of these videos. So if you'd like to help shape the direction that this channel is going, be sure to jump in there and chat with us. I'll leave a link down in the description. Quests from the Infinite Staircase, as mentioned, is a fun concept, and I've got a few more videos planned, so be sure to bookmark this playlist, as it's only going to grow as I add more to it. What's a place in the multiverse you'd like to visit? But moreover, what wish would you ask of Nafas? Let me know down in the comments, and until next our paths cross, may you not get lost in the Infinite Staircase.